report as per usual. Are you happy with 5 defenders at the back? Where do you stand on Roy Keane versus Jose Mourinho? Should Zlatan Ibrahimovic be taking free kicks? And also, is it simply a case now of top 4 against Europa League? Where do you stand on that? Lots and lots to talk about. Lots and lots to talk about, and I really want your opinions on it. And of course, side point of that, Manchester United have got to play Middlesbrough at the weekend. A game that Jose Mourinho has already sort of admitted we will lose. I don't buy into that, but loads to talk about. If you're watching live, get commenting. If you're not watching live, get commenting below and we'll reply to you over the next couple of days. But so much. Apologies for those who are watching live as well. Gremlins in the system. We've got it up and working. Let's just go. There's loads to talk about. Okay, right. Manchester United versus Middlesbrough. Should we start off with that? No. Let's start off with Roy Keane against Jose Mourinho because it's the biggest thing. I don't like this. I don't like this on both sides. But ultimately, my loyalty is with Jose Mourinho. He's the manager of Manchester United. He's taken over from 2 absolute clowns as far as I'm concerned. And it has been a good season. We've had dips and troughs. If you're watching the United stand all season, everybody in the live comments has been saying it. I've been saying it. We'll have peaks and troughs this season. It was never going to go all the way up like that. We're going to have drops. We'll have more. We're going to have more before the end of the season. I just hope we can come out with Champions League football. And then with the League Cup, it's not been a bad year, has it? But Roy Keane, I think Roy Keane... Look, Roy Keane is... If you follow me on Twitter, at Mark Goldbridge, you'll see my icon is Roy Keane. I love Roy Keane. He's probably my favourite player of my lifetime at Manchester United. Probably not the most talented, but certainly the best captain there has ever been. And if there's one player I could bring back into that Manchester United team now, yeah, Ronaldo would be great. Ryan Giggs, Scholes, you know, Rooney in his prime, of course, they'd be fantastic, and I wouldn't argue with people if they wanted to do that. But personally, it would be Roy Keane, because I've never seen a captain like him. I've never seen such an inspiration like him, and we would not have a treble if it wasn't for Roy Keane. We wouldn't have all the titles we've got if it wasn't for Roy Keane. However, Roy Keane's a legend, so I'm not really comfortable with some of the stuff I see on social media with United fans saying Keane should wind his neck in, Keane should shut up, and swearing and stuff like that. I don't agree with it. He's a legend of the club, and I don't like that. However, I don't agree with what he's coming out with, and I think we should just take it with a pinch of salt, really. To come out and say he's sick to the back teeth of Mourinho and his excuses, to a certain extent, is true. But even I, and I get a lot of stick, can see what Mourinho's doing. He's building a siege mentality, and I think everything he said last night about we've got enemies, people are against us, this, that, and the other. Very true, very similar to Sir Alex Ferguson. I think what might have broken the camel's back with Keane, who I don't think has got a lot of time for Mourinho anyway, and you can't hold that against Keane. Keane hasn't got a lot of time for Sir Alex. Doesn't mean we need to take sides. Sir Alex Ferguson's the best manager there's ever been, and Roy Keane is one of the best players we've ever had, and certainly captains as well. We don't need to take sides, but Mourinho and Keane have an issue, or Keane and Mourinho have an issue. But I think where Mourinho really sparked Keane last night and it was I would say a stupid comment, was to say we're probably going to lose on Sunday. That doesn't fit in with Manchester United, and we've never had a manager do that. We've had idiots like Moyes say we're the underdogs against City and comments like that, but he's an idiot. Jose Mourinho is not an idiot. He's one of the best managers in the world. So I think that comment has probably frustrated a lot of people. I think it was misguided. I think everything else, he's just building a siege mentality. The fatigue thing, I just want to touch on the fatigue thing that Mourinho said. No, we'll do that in a minute, actually. So in relation to Keane and Mourinho, I think Roy Keane's very funny. Sometimes, you know, he said that the Luke Shaw tackle was a fair tackle. As much as I love Roy Keane, that was one of the stupidest comments Roy Keane's ever made. But I know people who've met Roy Keane, and apparently in real life he's a really nice bloke. So you don't know how much of it is just, you know, Keane as a sports person doesn't take any prisoners, and there is no in his mind, and it's why he was such a good captain. There is nobody that he needs to be accountable to. Whether it was Mick McCarthy in the 2002 World Cup when he got sent home, whether it was on United TV when he had a pop at Kieran Richardson and that lot, and Sir Alex Ferguson sold him, or whether it's now having to go against Mourinho, Keane will say what he thinks. And on the football pitch, that won us trophies. Now as a pundit, if people don't like it, I think it's a bit hypocritical, because he's always been consistent, Roy Keane. He's always been a bit of an arsehole. The great thing is he was our arsehole and he won us a lot of trophies. So lay off Roy Keane, just take it with a pinch of salt. but some of you might agree with some of the things he said. Let's talk about this 5-3-2. Where do you stand on the 5-3-2? Are you happy? Because we put this out on Twitter at United Stand MUFC today, and a lot of people basically said, look, at the end of the day, if we win the Europa League and we get in the Champions League, I don't care how we play. And then we had other people saying, like somebody was at the ground last night, he says, I've been going since the late 60s and that is not the United way to play 5 defenders at home. It's not good enough. You've got people coming from all over the country, all over Europe to watch Manchester United, and that was not football, that was not entertaining. But then you've got people saying, well, we're playing like that because we're fatigued and we're tired and it's we've got to play defensive. So where do you stand on this 5-3-2? I'll tell you where I stand on it. I think we've got to play it against Middlesbrough at the weekend. This is a Middlesbrough preview. I need to talk about that a little bit as well. I think this whole formation around 5 defenders, I don't like it. Straight away, I've probably explained my problem as I did last night. I don't like picking 5 defenders. Valencia, Rojo, Smalling, Bailly, Blind is 5 defenders. Doesn't matter what the formation is. Doesn't matter if the fullbacks are basically playing as wingers. They are fullbacks playing as wingers. If you want to play wingers, play wingers. It's 5 defenders. All season we've played 4 defenders. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realise if you're playing 5 defenders, you are losing an attacker. And that's why I don't like it. I don't like the formation. It's too defensive. And for me, it's not the United way at all. And that's why yesterday it was a bit dull at times because we didn't have enough men getting into the box. However, if he's done it because of fatigue and that, there's a bit of an argument. I think on Sunday he's got to do it because we haven't got enough players to do it. But I think the big tipping point for Manchester United and this formation, and as I've said, I've been quite consistent, I have little bits of concerns as to why we are bringing a new formation in March. As I said last night, it's an admission of failure if you're doing that. And there's nothing wrong with the 4-3-3. We've played some of the best football we've played all season with that 4-3-3. It's just bad finishing. You don't change your formation because people aren't putting the ball in the back of the net. You get them down having a shot on the goal, stuff like that. So I hope it doesn't stay, but the tipping point's going to be after the international break. Let's call a spade a spade. You say tomato, I say tomato. Alan Partridge. But Sunday, no matter what, I only this afternoon I was looking at who everyone else is playing because you get so wrapped up in Manchester United's world. I was like, I don't know whether we can beat Middlesbrough at the weekend with the injuries that we've got. Let's not forget, we've got no Pogba, no Herrera, no Zlatan, and we're away from home against the team that's just sacked their manager. And they will bounce back and they will be up for it. And we are tired. So it is difficult. Mourinho never should have said it was, we're going to lose. A manager should never do that. Not publicly. No way he shouldn't have done that. But it is a difficult tie. I think we've got to go there, and we have got an abundance of defenders over midfielders and attackers at the moment. So I would play with the 5-3-2, and I would try and, get a goal, win the game 1-0. And it's all about 3 points on Sunday. Then you've got the international break. Now, the positive of the international break is Mata's not called up for Spain, Martial's not called up for France, Rooney's not called up for England, Zlatan's retired from international football. So that's 4 really important players getting a break. Pogba's injured, so he's getting a break. He might be back for after the international break. So that's 5 key players that will be getting a break. And obviously Luke Shaw doesn't go. Schweinsteiger doesn't play for Germany anymore. Carrick doesn't play for England anymore. So it's going to be a good break for us at the right time. Yes, there are players going off on international duty that we'll be slightly concerned about. Your Rashfords, your Herreras. But a lot of players are getting a break. Now, if we come back after the international break, when we play West Brom, Everton and Sunderland in a week, 9 points there. If we come back and we're playing 5-3-2 again, then let's revisit it and let's have a big moan because we'll have a fit, fresh, full squad. We should not be playing 5-3-2. But I think until that point, let's just give Mourinho a break, give the players a break. Let's go with it on Sunday. If we can grind a result out, it's great. And let's see what happens in April. If we're doing it in April, then I agree with those people who aren't happy and think it's negative because I don't want to see 5 defenders in a starting lineup either. But we've got to win on Sunday. How do we run on Sunday against Middlesbrough? Well, if Middlesbrough had kept the same manager, I'd have been confident we were going to get 3 points because they're in the bottom 3, etc., etc. However, they've sacked their manager. They're going to bounce back. Mourinho sort of hinted that there is a number of players who forced that manager out, who's a mate of his, Varanka. So they're going to bounce back like Leicester. They've got a point to prove that in the media that they forced the manager out. That they're going to bounce back and they're going to be up for it. And they need 3 points. And we are a wounded animal. How do we pick this team? Now, I want to bring in the fatigue here because I don't agree with Mourinho's fatigue thing. Oh, I've got players who won't be able to sleep tonight because they're playing in 2 days' time. They've only played 2 days ago. That is a bit of a cop-out. And that, again, I would sort of agree with Roy Keane. You don't have to, but I would, because we had a squad at the start of the season that was like 25 senior professionals and around approximately. And I said, and a lot of you said, we didn't get rid of enough of the dead wood. We've then sent Pereira on loan, who's doing great things. We've then sold Memphis and Schneiderlin in January and not replaced them. You can't moan about fatigue because you haven't got a big enough squad in March when you've let two players that actually, you know, Schneiderlin and Memphis, I think we got great money for them and I agree with them going. But you can't let them go and then moan about fatigue for your players because you should have replaced them. I think it was right to sell them because I don't think Memphis and Schneiderlin are that important at the moment. I think the more pertinent point is he's played Pogba too much. He's played certain players too much. And then you've got, I can list off a number of players that haven't played hardly at all. That he should have, he's had opportunities. He's had opportunities. Like the first leg against the team in the last round in the Europa League. I forget who it was, Saint Etienne. Sorry, the second leg when we're 4-0 up or whatever it was. The FA Cup tie where we were putting the first team out more or less against, I think it was Blackburn away or somebody. I forget the games. But the reality is, we all know it. Schweinsteiger is obviously injured now, but he wasn't getting played. He's obviously got injured in training. He could have been playing instead of Pogba or Fellaini or Herrera to give them a break. Luke Shaw could have played a hell of a lot more. Fosu Mensah definitely could have played a hell of a lot more. Lingard could have been used a bit more. I think he's just used the same players too much. And if they're tired, I'm sorry, Jose. I back you to the hilt. I think you're the right man. But I don't think moaning about fatigue is very fair when you've not used what is a very big squad compared to other clubs in the Premier League. He's just not used it enough. So if we are fatigued, that's down to him. And we've been talking about it for the last 3 months. He's got to use the bigger squad. He has to use it. What would I pick on Sunday? It's got to be De Gea in goal, obviously. You'd go Valencia. I would go with the back five because I think we've got more defenders than we have attackers. So I would go Valencia, Bailly, Smalling, Rojo, Luke Shaw. He won't play Luke Shaw. He'll probably play Blind or Darmian. My midfield two would be Carrick and Fellaini. It's not ideal, but beggars can't be choosers. Schweinsteiger's not going to be back, and even if he was, he wouldn't pick him. So I'd go Carrick and Fellaini because we've got no Herrera, we've got no Pogba. So Carrick and Fellaini would be the two, and that leaves you. I'm doing the maths here. That leaves us 3 other positions. So Rashford up front, Mkhitaryan, and Mata. And I would go with that. And obviously you've got people like Lingard on the bench, but that's the team I would go with. Yeah, Fellaini is not great. You know, he did really well the other night. He's not fantastic, but he's an aerial threat. And I think set pieces will be important against Middlesbrough. And I think he'll just do the simple things. Gets the ball, plays a 5-yard pass, puts his foot in. And with Carrick alongside him, it's that little bit of experience. So that's what I would go with. Ideally, I'd like to see Carrick and Schweinsteiger, but we're not going to see that. He will play Fellaini. And to be honest, for probably the first time in my entire life, which is why he's on the preview image for this, I haven't got a problem with Fellaini playing because actually he will give 100%, he will battle, and it will be a battle on Sunday. So I've got no problem with him playing at all. Can we win it? Of course we can win it. Of course we can win it. I think we'll win 1-0 and I will take that every day of the week. So that's my score prediction. I've still got loads to get through, so get commenting, keep getting on. Fatigue. I want to talk about this. In fact, I want to get this exactly right. Let me talk about something else while I just get this image up because I think there's so much to talk about. I will be live tomorrow at 2:30 actually. I've got a special show for you Saturday afternoon at 2:30, so make sure you watch that. But while I get to this, I want to bring this up. Should Zlatan Ibrahimovic be taking free kicks? Should he be taking the free kicks? Now, I saw it last night. I did the little tweet and a lot of people agreed with it. I said Zlatan puts his 150th free kick of the season into the wall. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. I love Zlatan. I'm probably one of his biggest fans. I wanted him to sign for Manchester United. But why the hell is he on free kicks? I even had a PSG fan direct message me today and say, I sympathise with you. We had this same problem at PSG. He's such a big ego, which he is. We're not picking on Zlatan there. He is the ego. He thinks he can take free kicks. He's rubbish at free kicks. And this is from a PSG fan. But I think we've seen that. And let's not fall into the trap of the League Cup free kick. It was one free kick from well over 100 he's had this season. We've actually got good free kick takers, whether it's Rooney when he's fit, Mata especially, Pogba can take a free kick, Daley Blind can take a free kick, Mkhitaryan can take a free kick. Zlatan can't take free kicks. It's the same free kick every time. It goes into the wall and it's not even very hard. I don't know why he's on free kicks, but it concerns me because we're Manchester United and I do think there is a little bit creeping in with Zlatan, which I'll be I don't want to give too much about the show tomorrow at 2:30. There's a little bit slipping in with Zlatan, which again, is not derogatory. I'm not picking on him. But we're Manchester United. Nothing should be bigger than Manchester United. But the danger with Zlatan is it becomes Zlatan's bigger than Manchester United. And every time there's a free kick, he's like, I'm taking it. Whether there's better free kick takers than me, I'm taking it. Well, that's not good for Manchester United because we already know that corners are a waste of time. That's nothing to do with Zlatan. We're rubbish at corners. But if our free kicks are also a waste of time as well, we're killing two massive areas to get goals. I don't know what you think. I wanted to bring that in tonight because the free kick thing is nearly getting up there with corners. I mean, if you watch the watch-alongs, every time there's a corner, we're willing it by going, we're not going to score. But we still don't score, and it's almost give a goal kick. But our free kicks have become like that now. Such a waste of time. We've actually got people who are good at free kicks. I remember last season, we used to be saying, free kick on the edge of the box, step up, one matter. If Van Gaal had been clever enough to pick him, of course. But I don't like what's going on with the free kicks. Right, the next thing I want to talk about, it's not really fatigue. It's the... I've got to say that I do have banter with Liverpool Twitter accounts on Twitter. Sometimes you have to take it, sometimes you can give it out. And I put this out tomorrow. It's like basically this morning. It's basically an image of all Manchester United fixtures remaining, and we have got listed in April 8 fixtures at the moment: West Brom, Everton, Sunderland in the Premier League, 2 legs of the Europa League, Chelsea straddle that, and then Burnley and Swansea. So we've got 8 games in May. We've actually got 9 because we've got Southampton and Man City to be rearranged. We can't fit both in May, so one of them will actually be played between Burnley and Swansea because there's a week between them. So we'll have 9 games in April. To which a Liverpool fan went, "Wow, 9 games." ... being sarcastic actually. Now Liverpool will be lucky if they play 3 games in April because they're not in Europe, they're not in the FA Cup. So 3 games, maybe 4 they'll play. We'll play 9. That's more than double the games they're going to play. In May, we will play 6, 7. So we're going to play 9 games in presuming in May we haven't got knocked out, which we won't get knocked out by Anderlecht, by the way. So 9 games in April and 7 games in May. Makes 16 games in 2 months. It's ridiculous. It's a lot of games. So my question to you lot is, and I've got to ring my own bell here. Pardon the pun. That's what she said. I have said consistently all season, and certainly from November, that I feel there's a choice to be made between the Europa League and the Premier League. I really hope I'm wrong, but I don't think you can do both. Now I think everybody tries to do it. I'm not saying we should go, well, forget the Premier League, let's play Nicky Butt's team. We will try and do both, but I don't think you can do both. And I ultimately think the Europa League is where Mourinho will put all his eggs in the basket, because Anderlecht, for those who I'm sure everybody knows, we've got them in the next round. We've got the second leg at home. It'd be inexcusable. With all due respect to Anderlecht, it would be inexcusable not to, even if Anderlecht's only chance is to beat us comfortably in the home leg, but then we've got them home second leg. So we should be getting through that, which puts us in the semi-final, which puts us 3 away from a Champions League spot. I said it today, I don't know whether people agree with me. If Lyon get through Besiktas, I want to play Lyon in the semi-finals because Lyon are the best team in the Europa League with us. And I would rather play Lyon over 2 legs because I think we are better than Lyon. But I would be concerned playing Lyon in the final if we didn't turn up, like we didn't turn up against Southampton, and they do. 1 game, they could beat us. I think over 2 legs, we'll beat them because the quality will out over 2 legs. But that's for the future. So what are your thoughts? Do you think we can do both? I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of games, and as going back to what I was saying a few minutes ago, we haven't utilised the squad enough, and now we have got a lot of injuries. You've got Martial, Rooney, Pogba, Rojo's apparently dead on his feet with fatigue. I mean, this is because he hasn't used the squad enough. And we've got a 2-week international break, but April's going to be horrific, absolutely horrific. 9 games in 4 weeks. It's just ridiculous. You do the maths. It's basically a game every 3 days. So if he's not going to use the squad, which for some reason he's been loath to do for the last 2 months, I think we really just have to be looking at the 2 games in the Europa League. Let's get through that and let's see what we can do in the Premier League. And let's not forget, in May, even if we're in a good position in the Premier League for the top 4, we've got Arsenal, Manchester City and Spurs all away in 1 week. So, which again will straddle what could be Lyon in the Europa League. So I think we've just got to go all out in Europe in April, see where we are, and then reevaluate, because May will be very difficult, and we will actually have to make a choice, because if you're playing Arsenal, Manchester City and Spurs in the space of a week away from home in the Premier League, and you need points from that, but amongst that you've also got 2 legs of the Europa League semi-final, which could be against Lyon or Besiktas or Schalke or Ajax or Celta Vigo. You can't do everything. You can't do everything. So very, very interesting. Let's have a look at some of your comments. I've been talking for long enough, but I hope you've enjoyed the show. We've covered absolutely everything, so please do drop a like. I know it's been fast paced, but there was just so much to get through. Absolutely loads. I've really enjoyed it, actually. I've been looking forward to doing the show tonight, because there was just so much to get through. But I wanted to go through some of your comments, because you're all fantastic, and I know that you support the channel. We've got over 600 of you watching, so 500 likes would be nice. Please do click the like button, and obviously we've got our live subscribe account in the bottom as well. If you are new to the United Stand, get subscribing, get involved. We've got a fantastic community on the live comments, and I want to go through some of the comments now. Alvin Ali says we need a fast forward who works hard and battles for everything, not an ego chasing player. I think he's talking about Zlatan. Well, on Sunday we will. We're going to have that fast player with Rashford. That's something exciting. Remember, it's a 12 o'clock kickoff UK time on Sunday. I forgot to say that. We'll be live from 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock with the team news, and obviously we'll be live all the way through as well. So I just think we've got to battle that game and get a result. I'm not really bothered about performance. We've got too many injuries. We've got too many suspensions, and we just need to grind out a game. Uthman, I've heard about this, yeah. I think it was tongue-in-cheek about that thing on that video. Mark, what are your thoughts on the Anderlecht draw? We've done that, Morgan. I'm very happy with it. It's about as good as it gets. And also, to be home second leg is just cherry on the cake. So very happy with that. We needed that, especially with the way things are going. We needed that. And if somebody from the quarterfinals who's not that good could fluke their way into the semi-finals and we get to play them, that'd be even better. Europa League over everything, we have to, says MUFC 20 times. It is looking the better option. Champions League football is what it's all about. We don't want to have regrets at the end of May when we're going, oh, if we'd only just put our all eggs into one basket, why did we go for both and get a load of injuries and get fatigued? Danny Riley says, I don't buy into the whole too many games. It's bollocks. Our squad is massive to win both, but our manager won't utilise it. Same team in every competition. I think that's a fair point. That's why I think it is a problem, because I don't think he will use the bigger squad. He won't use Fosu Mensah. He won't use Shaw. He hasn't used Schweinsteiger. So you can't expect to play the same team, more or less, for 9 games in 1 month. We've seen what's happened in the last... I mean, it's unfair to ask somebody to do it, but how many games have we played in the last 6 weeks with much the same players? And within that 6 weeks, we've lost Pogba, we lost Mkhitaryan for a little bit, we lost Rooney, we've lost Martial, suspensions. You know, it all accrues if you keep using the same players. Jason says Leon are crap. I was arguing with a Leon fan last night. They were saying, we're coming for you. I said, you come for us with your French Jermaine Defoe, because that's about as good as Lacazette is. We are better than Leon, but it will be, and we will beat them. We will beat them. United need to win the Europa League. Simple as that, says Tyron Williams. And let's get the Europa League, says Juan Carlos Rios Guajardo. We've got a Liverpool fan on there saying they're the best. Must be drunk. It's Paddy's Day. Probably Irish as well. Hope you all had a great day. I've not even had a drink and it's Patrick's Day. Oh, I lived there for 3 years. It's disgraceful. Riojo's been a monster this year, says Edwin Castro. Yaya on a free. You can get stuffed. Yaya Touré's come out and said that his agents come out and said that he'd welcome a move to Manchester United. He can get stuffed. He can absolutely get stuffed. Do not want him. True Story says he'd like to see Roy Keane as our assistant manager. I would love to see Roy Keane as our assistant manager. That would solve problems. Anabath says, can we talk about Kingsley Conan as a future number 7? We could, but it's not going to happen. Gary Paul says Mourinho's comments were not acceptable. I liked some of them, like I said. I liked the fact that, you know, he was on about the enemies, because it was just like Sir Alex Ferguson. Siege mentality, make him think everyone is against us. What I didn't like was the fatigue thing, because he's brought that on himself. You can't use players being tired as an excuse with the squad he's got. He's just not used the big enough squad. So that's his fault. And also, I didn't like we'll probably lose on Sunday. I've never heard a Manchester United manager do that, and I didn't like that. But I'm fully behind Mourinho. We all are. And I think whatever happens, we need to get the result on Sunday. Jose's problem is that he refuses to use Bastian and Rashford and Timothy Fosu-Mensah. Says awesome guy. We can add a few more players to that. Rashford is a dashy. Chelsea fan on there as well. Why not Toure, Mark? Says James Henry Sutcliffe. Because he plays for City. I don't want him. And he's past it. He's absolutely past it. He's been shot for about 2 years. I don't want him. He's finished. Tyrone Williams has just said it. Yaya Toure is finished. No thanks. If he was in his prime 5 years ago, I'd take him. It's not, you know, it's not necessarily the City thing, because it'd be funny to take one of their best players. But he's not anymore. And why do you want City cast-offs? That's rubbish. No. Why take Oliver and not Martial for the French squad, says Andres. To be honest, Didier Deschamps is a water carrier, just like Cantona said. He's a negative, rubbish manager. The fact that Pogba's injured and can't be influenced by him, and Martial can't be influenced and gets 2 weeks rest, I'm happy with that. You know, I'm gutted that Rashford's been called up for England, because I would like to have seen him get some rest as well. Strootman, says Zachary, keep telling you this, never going to happen. Why no Mata in the Spain squad, says Shane Butler. Again, don't care, it works for us. And Griezmann won't join if we aren't in the Champions League, says Gavin McCaffrey. Okay. Jose thinks Shaw is overweight, says Dipto. Well, you know, it's all season. He's had time to sort himself out. Right, okay. Thanks everybody for watching. Please do drop a like on the video. Massive video. Hopefully you've been entertained throughout of it. It's not easy to just blast out for half an hour like I have. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. You've been a fantastic company as per usual. I hope you love the United Stand and the fact that we do it live and we are interactive with you. Time just flies by. But like I said, we will be live tomorrow afternoon. It'll be about 2:30 in between the Arsenal West Brom game and the 3 o'clock kickoff. So I've got a little video planned for you, and I think you'll enjoy that. So keep an eye out for that. And then obviously, not obviously, I say obviously a lot, and it's not obvious to you lot. It's not even obvious to me. Tomorrow night on my channel, which you can search for on YouTube, it's Mark Goldbridge. Get on there, subscribe, get the notification bell done. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, I'm doing my weekly, and it's always on that channel. I play FIFA. The live comments are up, and it's a Manchester United versus Middlesbrough tactics preview. I will pick the team, I will do the back five, I will have exactly the right players, and it's basically a talk through for about 20 minutes with you interacting, playing FIFA, and sort of, you know, predicting how the game will go and how we should go about winning the game. So a lot of people like that. You can join me for that. I'll remind you tomorrow at 2:30 on this channel when I'm doing the video there, and then obviously on Sunday you've got the watch along from 11 o'clock. So busy weekend. Looking forward to it. We don't want to go into the international break without 3 points. We've got to get 3 points on Sunday. It's an exciting time to be a Manchester United fan because there's so many games going off. We've got to get the result on Sunday, and then we can have a break. We won't have a break. I've got lots planned for you. Skype Goldbridge has been a bit hit and miss over the last couple of weeks because there's been so many games. We're going to be doing at least 2 a week from next week over the international break. So loads of opportunities for you to get on. Like the video, subscribe if you are new, bottom right hand corner hologram. Make sure you've clicked the bell if you have already subscribed anyway to get notifications when we're live. And I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm off for a rest, a nice hot bath, a bit of The Only Way is Essex, and then I'm halfway through season 2 of Peaky Blinders. See you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.